Good evening, parents and guardians, scholars, and the community. Thank you so much for joining us for our Family Info Fair. We have some awesome speakers that are going to give you some very valuable tips and information tonight. And again, I'm very happy that you decided to stick with us this evening and join in on this wonderful info. I am Alicia Davis, your Director of Family and Community Engagement for Cedar Hill ISD. And this actually is the culmination of our family's first event. As you all should know, we have been celebrating Families First. We've had 4 days of awesome family fun events. We had our CHISD's Got talent show on Friday. We had family movie night on Saturday. Yesterday we had family dinner night, and today we are concluding with our family info fair. Now we have wonderful guests that I am now going to introduce you to. We have Mr. William Garrison. He is from Camp Skylark. He is going to talk to you all about summer opportunities for scholars. We have Dr. Cheryl Hamilton. She is from Hamilton Counseling and Consulting LLC. She's going to actually give you some information about how to deal with your scholars this summer when they are all yours. We also have Miss Denisha Williams. She is our CHISD Council of PTA's president. And we also have, and she's going to talk to you about how to be an advocate. And we have Trisha Kay from TK Enterprises. She's actually going to give you a presentation on time management for parents. All right. And without further ado, we are going to start off with Mr. William Garrison from Camp Skylark. All right.
Thank you so much. Hey, everyone. I'm super excited to talk to you about summer. I apologize. I already have camp voice. We've been doing training this weekend, so I've been cheering and dancing on stage to train our staff for an amazing summer. I'm super excited for what's going to happen. Skylark is a all-summer day camp. We run camp for 10 weeks at Hillcrest Baptist Church for elementary age kids. It says rising 1st through 5th. It's supposed to say rising 1st through 6th. I'm so sorry about that. Rising 1st through 6th grade, which means starting May 30th all the way through August 5th, Monday through Friday, we'll have camp every day. Even on Memorial Day, the week of the 4th of July, we'll have 5 days of camp so that we can have childcare all summer long. Our heart is that kids can have an excellent summer, that we can have fun and be educated right in their own community and bring camp to them to make it accessible. We also have early and late drop-off available as early as 7:30 a.m., and they can go as late as 6 p.m. So Skylark is fun, and it's educational. We have a reading program that we do every single day. It's called Sigma. We worked with a professor from Harvard, and she put together this program for us to help educate kids. So we will be reading with the kids every day to ensure that we are providing good, exciting time in books to get kids excited about reading, to make reading a part of their day, and to keep them on grade level throughout the summer. So we'll have books pre-assigned, and every single day after lunch, we'll take time where the council will just read and ask them questions. If they're in early drop off and late pickup, they'll have word games to play. They'll have extra books to read where they can just get excited about learning. You can come for as many weeks as you'd like. The reading program will change every day, every week. The activity will change every day and every week, so kids will always have a new experience. Our staff are trained in health and safety, so we have first aid, CPR certified staff. We have set rules to make sure kids are safe. Our counselors take tests on our activities to make sure that they are well aware of how activities are run. We make sure that we write down everything to make sure that we're communicating with you guys and you guys know exactly what's happening at camp all the time so that your kids can have fun and you guys can be at ease with your kids. So we have competitive childcare rates. It is $250 per week for the 9 to 4, but we also don't want price to be a barrier. So we have financial aid available At the end, I'll talk about how you can apply for that financial aid. So the next slide is what do we do at Skylark? So we kick off each morning with what we call a rally. And morning rally is just a time for the kids to get pumped for the day. We have on-stage skits, and we have fun characters to deal with, and we feed into Bible study from there. So our Bible study, we are a Christian summer camp. We want our kids to know about Jesus. And so our Bible study this summer is called Reels, talking about the short stories we tell in life, the short stories Jesus told to tell people about himself. So we'll be going through for all 10 weeks different parables of Jesus. So each week we'll talk about different parables and what we can learn about those. I've already mentioned the Sigma reading program. So it has been like heavily designed, and it's super intentional to teach kids that we are equipping our staff to teach kids and keep them on grade level. For our activity classes, we have over 40 different activities. So kids will have 15 a week, which means that they won't repeat activity classes for about 3 weeks at a time. Some will be staples of the week. We'll say, okay, you'll have these, they'll do every week. But they'll be constantly shifting to make sure kids have their expectations, that they know what they're doing in the time blocks, but they don't know exactly what's going to happen. So it's a fun new surprise each day so they can be excited and see what's coming up. We're also adding something new this year. It's called X Tours. So X Tours is we have sites all over DFW, and we'll be having big toys that will rotate from site to site. So we have inflatables, some water inflatables that will have 4 or 5 that'll go from site to site. They'll have a dunk tank with them. We'll have kind of a carnival theme where we'll have dry inflatables and a snow cone machine and just a big carnival to put on. And we have what we call Verts, which is our rock wall and our Ninja Warrior course, which those will be in Cedar Hill starting next Monday for 2 weeks, which means kids can come to camp and be on the rock wall, on the Ninja Warrior course, having a blast for those 2 weeks. And then after the first 2 weeks, we'll have even more amazing fun stuff to come in. And so that's going to be so fun. It's going to be a way to make camp new and exciting, and kids can have just the best summer of their lives. That's just a 30,000-foot view flyover. There's so much more. Here's a little video of what camp looks like.
Our hearts are beating. They beat us once a night. We step into the rhythm until we feel alive. Don't underestimate it. This feeling's too contagious. They're never gonna tame us. So let your spirit fly. Bring the house down. Bring the house down. We're all just need. We need to let it out. Don't even need a reason. There ain't no stopping now. Bring the house down. Whoa, bring the house down. I'm going to bring the house down.
So that video, we've actually added a lot of new toys since then. And so that's just a little taste of what's coming this summer. We have so much to do. It's gonna be so fun. And our goal is for these kids to have the best summer of their lives and have heroes in our staff. Our staff are not just there to make camp fun or to give just a cool day at camp, but it's to be heroes for these kids, people they can look up to and can want to be like. And so our heart is that it would not just give them a fun summer, but change their lives. If you have any questions about camp, that's our camp phone number. Or if you need financial aid, you can email admin@campskylark.com. We would love to talk to you about what it would take to get you to camp and how we can help you get there. We already love the kids in Cedar Hill. I've loved being the director in Cedar Hill for so long and get to know the kids in this community. And I would love to meet more kids and get to give them heroes this summer and the best summer of their lives. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Garrison. I do see a question on the screen, and I'm pretty sure this is related to this camp. Is there a way that maybe parents could volunteer?
Yes, we have a volunteer application on our website. So our website is campskylark.com.
I'll put in the chat. Camp
Great.
Skylark.
And on our staffing page, our apply page, there's a volunteer link. So if you'd like to volunteer, we would love to have you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay. Next up, we have a special treat. Now that we've talked a little bit about what option you might have for the summer, we're going to talk to you now about how to deal with the summer blues as parents when, again, the scholars are yours for the summer. You know, our last day of school, I hope everyone knows, it is this Thursday, May 26th. That is the last day of school for scholars and for teachers. So, you know, when your kids are at your place all day long instead of at school, here are some ways that you can work through that. And we have Dr. Cheryl Hamilton from Hamilton Counseling and Consulting, who is going to talk to you about that.
Hello, everyone. I am super excited to be here to talk about how we can conquer the summer blues. I know that y'all are all looking forward, parents, spending that extra time with your kids this summer, especially because you have maybe had them for a couple of months during COVID and you know how valuable that time is. But maybe they kind of drove you crazy during the summertime last summer because you couldn't get out and do anything. So I just want to offer some different type of techniques and some different things that you can definitely do this summer to work with them. So one of the first things that I definitely want to focus on is just family time. Unfortunately, I know a lot of you guys are not able to take off the entire summer and just getting back to work. Some of you may not have a lot of vacation time. And so one of the things that I really talk to some of my family clients about is just doing like simple things that you can do every day, like the use of board games, you know, or having a family game night or something a movie night that you can just focus on in the house or even outside of the house. Even looking into some local newspapers and magazines to find some free family activities, but just focusing on the family. Even if you focused on cooking or teaching your scholars different cooking techniques to help you so that they can learn how to kind of fend for themselves this summer. So if they need to figure out how to make a breakfast or a lunch, you know, showing them how to pack their food for camp when they get ready to go to camp, that could be something that definitely is family fun and it creates a lot of memories. So don't just think that family time means you have to get out and spend a lot of money. No, this could be things that you definitely already have in a house. Y'all can have a karaoke night. You can have a dance night where y'all dance. Anything that you're thinking about that would be great for your family. You can have an arts and craft night where y'all can create something together. Any special memories that y'all would like to make, or even like creating a quilt for the family, creating a collage of pictures, doing different things. Last summer, I really promoted getting out, like just doing drive-bys and taking selfies and creating a selfie collage of family. And so that way y'all could just jump out, take a selfie collage and go. So you definitely still have that opportunity this summer to kind of just create those memories with your babies or your scholars, and making sure that you're not overdoing it, but and financially, but just creating those memories again. So that is a great way to conquer the summer blues. The next one is making sure that they participate in educational and fun activities. I know y'all remember from last summer and the year before, they don't just want to stay in the house. They are over it, right? So we got to make sure that we kind of have them participate in anything that's educational and fun. Educational, one, because we want to make sure that they keep on growing as scholars in their academics, but also because we don't want them to be left behind. So just introducing them to a little bit of reading, helping them with some math, helping them learn history. That's very educational. You could take a walk downtown and just learn or talk about some different monuments. And then we have the Ross Perot Museum down there. So just different things that you can definitely do to help influence them to continue on, carry on in their academics. When you're focusing on fun activities, I just love the video that Camp Skylark just did, because not only were they introducing and promoting reading, but they was also displaying a lot of fun. And I believe that that could be definitely fun and inviting and engaging, and it increased those social skills. And so that definitely would help your scholars remember, um, number one, to just kind of stay engaged in having fun. Summer doesn't have to be a drag, and it definitely doesn't have to only focus on sitting in front of the TV or playing electronics. So those are two tips that we have. And then moving on, enjoy time outside. I don't know if you remember, but when we were younger, we definitely stayed outside, probably a little bit too long. However, we it built and created a lot of creativity. We had imagination. We created different games, but also just going for a walk. You know, you can bike ride or swimming, going around the block and talking to your other friends or your other neighbors around the house. That helps us to stay physically fit. So we want to make sure that we're outside, we're engaging, you know, and make sure you check the weather when you're going outside, enjoying the time outside, because the news does a really good job of letting you know when it's too hot outside or when it's going to be just right for them to go outside. But making sure to promote going outside and being active. That is one of the things I think that we kind of miss out on a lot. And so just getting out there, it helps kids be a little bit more cheerful, being outside, enjoying the fresh air, going on a picnic. Those are different things that you can definitely do when you're outside. Setting a flexible routine is very important. So having some structure and routine contributes to better mental health for your kids, but adding some flexibility to your summer routine. So we already know they don't really want to wake up at 6 or 7 a.m. in the summertime, but we don't want them to stay in the bed all day. We got to make sure that we stay mentally focused throughout the summer. The most important thing to remember is to ensure that they're getting enough sleep and eating at least 3 healthy meals, staying hydrated, because you know our Texas weather, each day, and getting plenty of physical activity. A lot of times parents will say, well, I don't know what time they went to bed, but all they do is sleep all day. Well, let's try to break up that routine. I'm not saying that they don't need any rest, but what I'm saying is making sure that they're engaging with others, and making sure that they're staying physically fit, and eating and drinking plenty of water is going to be key to making sure that they stay mentally fit. Okay, so focusing on enjoying time outside and then setting a flexible routine will definitely help you this summer. Now, I know this one is a big, oh, nah, I can't do this. I cannot take their electronics away. Well, you don't have to take them away, but we do need to limit electronics, okay? Electronics can be entertaining for most children. However, too much screen time can negatively affect your child's mood and bring on stress and anxiety, interfere with sleep, and take a toll on their eyes. So, if you don't pay for it now, you're going to pay for it later when you have to go and get them some new glasses or some new frames because they've been into those TVs and those iPads and them tablets for too long. So just making sure that you limit the electronics. If you have a scholar that's age 5 and under, it's recommended that you limit it to 1 hour each day. And then if you have a scholar that's 6 years and up, to no more than 2 hours each day. And I know that if you have any adolescents or teens, you definitely can negotiate the time, but making sure that they're not on the having a lot of screen time or electronics from the time that they wake up to the time that they go to bed is key, and it's very vital to make sure that they stay mentally fit. Okay. One of the things that I definitely did as a child, and I promoted to my children growing up, was finding a purpose. Teaching kids responsibility and giving them a purpose is essential to their mental health, especially over the summer when there's less for them to do. Okay, so create a list of daily and age appropriate chores around the house. If they are old enough, consider having them obtain a part-time job or volunteering at a local nonprofit organization, school, church, or workplace. Listen, children love to help. They love to help their neighbors, but they also love to work. And this is the time in the summer where you're definitely seeing your little entrepreneurs, if you have some, creating lemonade stands, or even if you're seeing your advocates out there collecting books and tennis shoes or backpacks or whatever. This is the time that they're doing those, even working for our homeless shelters and different things like that. So making sure that they feel like they have some type of purpose is very important, to making sure that they stay mentally healthy and fit, and helping them with that. So creating something that they can do every day and making sure that it's age appropriate, okay? But also giving them a list of responsibilities in the house is definitely key. Helping them to understand their place and their role in the family is going to be vital this summer. So that way they don't feel like they have nothing to do, okay? So limited electronics and then helping them find a purpose is definitely key. So say you get to the point where your scholar is not coming out of the room, or you're starting to see some withdrawal, some isolation. So I wanted to make sure that I included some warning signs of summertime's blues, especially when it comes to depression and anxiety symptoms. Excuse me. So feelings of sadness, tearfulness, emptiness, or hopelessness. So if you see your scholar and they're walking around and maybe their mood has changed, or you can tell that there's something going on around that, then that is one of the symptoms of depression and anxiety. If they get anxious or very agitated or restless, if they're struggling with that, that's another sign. Angry outbursts, irritability or frustration, even over small matters. So if everything just aggravates them or makes them angry, that's definitely another sign of depression and anxiety. Tiredness and lack of energy. If they're telling you they can't get out of the bed, they can't do anything. If you've noticed that from Monday to Wednesday they've laid there, they haven't taken care of their hygiene, if they're not talking to anyone, even if they have withdrew from their friends, that's definitely another sign. Loss of interest in or pleasure in most or all normal activities. So if you know that there's something that they always look forward to, and this summer they have decided not to engage and they're moping around the home and you barely seeing them, that's definitely another sign. Or if you approach them and you say, hey, let's go do one of your favorite things, and they continue to turn you down, that is definitely a sign of depression and anxiety. If they are discussing with you any suicidal thoughts or feelings, that is definitely a sign of depression and anxiety symptoms. So we want to make sure that if you see that, I wanted to give you these tips and signs. So if you do see it, you know exactly what to do for them moving forward. I think I have a couple of more. Everyone experiences anxiety and stress in life, but children often don't know how to talk about or deal with their feelings. Below are some tips that you can use at home to help your child conquer anxiety, okay? So maybe our adolescents, our older kids, they definitely can come in and talk to you about how they're feeling, what they're going through. But sometimes our younger scholars have a hard time expressing that. So some of the things that you can do as a parent is make sure that you're validating their emotions. You know, if they come in and say, I'm angry, I'm upset, you know, don't discredit it or don't say you have nothing to be angry or upset about. Make sure that you validate their emotions and their feelings, okay? And so make sure that you go in and kind of talk to them, you know. And so we want to make sure that we're looking at how they're feeling and where that's coming from. Another thing we want to focus on is teaching them to problem solve. So it's okay as a parent sometimes to kind of solve their problems, but here's where we're going to implement those critical thinking skills for them, and we're going to teach them how to solve problems on their own so that when they get back to school, they'll know how to deal with their feelings and how they can use their coping skills to solve problems. So we definitely want to focus on that. We want to ask open-ended questions. And so those are questions where you just can't say yes or no. You got to give more details. So sitting down, taking a moment to talk to your child daily. If you're coming in from work, this is a time when you want to just kind of sit down and ask those open-ended questions based on like, how was your day? How are you feeling today? Tell me something exciting that you did today, especially if they're going on to summer camp or if they're going somewhere else and you have to drop them off and you don't get them until the late evening. You want to ask them those different questions. And I always kind of ask, you know, tell me one thing that you enjoyed today, or what was something that made you mad today? Those are some different questions. I know that's not generally questions that we ask, but that's good to know because sometimes you don't know if they felt sad during the day or if they were upset or if they were mad. So just asking those questions would definitely give you more information and empower you to know how your scholar is doing and how to move forward. Okay. And then we want to address anxiety. So when they start saying, you know, I don't feel good or my stomach hurt, especially if they're going to a new place, it could be a number of things. And so making sure that we sit down and talk about that and discuss that and see like, well, what is it? Tell me, what do you feel is making your stomach hurt? Or going through a list of questions definitely will help you get to the answer. So, just doing a daily check-in with your scholar to make sure that we can help them conquer their anxiety. All right, so it's simple. If you think your child is getting depressed, no matter what time of year, get help. Talk to a therapist like myself, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or a social worker. We are all here to definitely help. We have you and your child best interest in mind. And so we're in the community. I'm located in Duncanville. My practice offers free family counseling for students and family ages 18 and under through our Family Tree program. We also offer different types of counseling through private insurance, and then we also have free programs coming up. So I think I included a couple of programs this summer to make sure that we provide some community service or some community assistance for mental health. So one of the ones that we will be having this summer. Okay, so we have a couple of different workshops this summer. One of the ones that I'm definitely excited about is our Remarkable Minds ADHD workshop. That one is focused on children's ages to 6 to 11. And so it's Mondays and Wednesdays. And it's not just for your scholar, but it's also for the parent. This one definitely helps you understand what ADHD is, talks about the medicine. We have a psychiatrist who will be working with us, but also just helping you understand like how can you get help. So you'll understand ADHD, you'll understand how to get a diagnosis, but also like what does it look like next if you want to move forward in getting your child tested. And then how can we help you move forward in the process if that's something that you have some concerns about. We also have a teen parent support group. This is another one that's close to my heart. We are focused on not only the teen mom, but also the child. So we are in there teaching some different critical parenting skills for the teen mom and the child, and helping them to bond more with their babies, and teaching them different ways of parenting, different parenting styles and ways to communicate so that they can create a healthy family. And then we have our social media and teens group. This one is for our older scholars. This is every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. This one starts on June the 14th to June 29th. And breakfast and lunch is provided. But basically, we'll be talking about learning some different social appropriate ways to help your teen stay mentally healthy. How does we'll focus on how does social media cause depression in teens, how it can be prevented, and then how to stay positive online. You know that we're in that world right now where everything is definitely on social media, and we see a lot of clients currently who definitely get in trouble behind social media. So we want to do our part and just do more of a prevention technique versus an intervention. So this is a great class. If you're able to register, if you know someone, you can definitely register through the QR code. And I think that is it.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Hamilton. Definitely got some great information there. And let's see. Someone said, yes, Dr. Hamilton. All right. Up next, we have Miss Denisha Williams. She is our president of CHISD's Council of PTAs, and she is going to talk to you all about how to be an advocate for your scholars and probably yourselves too, right?
All right. Thank you, Alicia, for the introduction. Again, my name is Denisha Williams. I know it's a mouthful, even for myself. I am the Council of PTA's president, and I will be returning as your president for the 2022-23 school year. So you'll get to see me all over again. But yes, we want to talk about how to be an advocate. When you think about PTA, how many of you have thought of, you can put it on Facebook, hearts. If you're on YouTube, you can put I have thought of PTA as just about bake sales, fundraisers, event planners, the schools, support system. How many of you thought of them as that if you thought about PTAs on your campus? All right. Now, like anybody else, nearly everyone has. Just this year, a lot of people thought that. This is the perception that is absolutely incorrect. National PTA was founded by advocates and has a strong history of impacting education policy and advocating, not fundraising for children. In the context of PTA, advocacy is supporting and speaking up for children in schools and communities and before government bodies and other organizations that make decisions affecting our children. PTA is the oldest and largest volunteer advocacy association in the United States. We actually have it in levels. There's the National PTA that focus on federal laws and policies and different activities and grants and things that affect some of our schools federally. Then we have our state, which here is the Texas PTA, which focus on state laws and policies and rules. And then we have our local PTAs, which are like our Cedar Hill ISD, focuses on our local level. And so our goal is to make sure that any policies that we see, we speak out about, and we make sure that we inform you as the parents. Even though we were founded in 1897, PTA has a long, successful history of influencing federal policy to promote the education, health, and well-being of all children, resulting in kindergarten classes, child labor laws, school lunch programs, a juvenile justice system, and strengthening parent and teacher relationships. So, what is advocacy? PTA continues that legacy today by fighting for changes under the federal public policy priorities, which is like our general education. You might have heard No Child Left Behind. PTA kind of follows along on that with federal and state laws and policies there. Our special education, early childhood education, education funding, child health and nutrition, justice, juvenile justice and delinquency prevention, and school safety. These are things that your PTA is what we have to advocate on. So a lot of legislation that you might see through Texas about mental health, about school timing, funding, those are usually backed by your PTAs. Now, being an advocate, what does that mean for you as a parent? Advocacy is promoting and defending another person's right, needs, and interests. Children often find it hard to speak up for their own rights, needs, and interests, and they might need someone to speak for them. An advocate is someone who speaks up for others. An advocate might find information, go to meetings as support persons, or write letters for another person. And like I said, you can't advocate for your child. Now, this is not taking on, like Dr. Helms said, this is giving them a little bit of, I can say, independence, letting them basically learn how to problem solve instead of coming up to the school all the time, or maybe going to the day camps trying to find the bully. This is an awesome opportunity for you learn how they can learn how to basically advocate for themselves. But also, as you as a parent, this is a great opportunity for you to learn what resources and support you might have to bag you when your child is, of course, coming with you repeatedly about bullying or mental health, or about things that are just happening, period, from violence, COVID. You'll be able to stand up in a position where you can basically give them the resources, and also you have resources for yourself that you can use to basically help better your schools. Now, advocating for your child, if you think your child is at risk of harm, isn't having their needs met, or being denied their rights, you might need to advocate for them. You know and understand your child better than anyone else. If people are making decisions for you or about your child, you can and help to make sure that these decisions in your child there are in your child's best interest. So in these cases, most times, most parents, they will get letters in regards to IEPs, individual learning programs that you might get from your teachers at the end of the year that you're not aware of and might not understand. These are great opportunities over the summer that you might want to find an advocate who can basically go over those policies with you so that you can better prepare yourself when you're going into arts, or when you're getting ready to enroll your child in programs. You will be able to make sure they're getting their needs met. So this is a great opportunity for you to kind of use this time to kind of understand what AVIC programs and supports that you have for yourself. And if you need help with those, you can definitely reach out to the Council of PTAs, and we can try to get you that support as well. Now, again, like we said, with your child, we want to make sure that they are learning how to advocate for themselves. And so how can you advocate for your child? And one of the things is understanding the issue. This is making sure you have a clear understanding of the issue your child is facing. Most times our child comes and tells us they're being bullied, but we don't know how the bullying starts. So this is a great opportunity to ask those open-ended questions. Who is the person that is messing with you or bullying you, or even changing the topic to what's going on at school? How are you feeling? Giving them opportunity to express themselves, and you get a clear understanding of what's happening. Then you want to think about what you want for your child. Thinking about your child's needs will help you decide what you want for your child. It's important to keep an open mind because there might be solutions that you haven't thought of, or you try plenty of information so you can make an informed decision. So one of the things you want to do in regards to advocating for your child is, like I said, once you get that clear understanding, look at the different solutions that you have. Talking to the principal, getting in contact with the counselor, maybe talking to the school nurse. And then once you have those things, once you actually talk about those things with those individuals on your campus, or even if it's like at a camp, talking to the day counselor, talking to the nurse on the camp site, also talking to the director, getting to know what the atmosphere is on the campus or on the campground so that you can understand what solutions you might need to do for your child. And three, like I said, present the solution. Presenting the solution is more effective when it's more effective than complaining. For example, you might say, if my child's behavior continues to be a problem, I could come to learn to swim to the swim program to help supervise. Now, we don't want you to take over the summer camp. What we want you to do is be in not only take over the summer camp, we don't want you to embarrass the child. What we want you to do is take time to, like I said, get to know what's happening on the campsite, get to know what's happening on the campus. You might can volunteer, which is great. And so therefore you can get an opportunity to see what's happening and get a clear understanding of what's happening with other children as well. Like I said, you just don't want to advocate for just your child. You want to advocate for others too, just in case their parents don't know what's happening. And then you want to also think about your timing. For example, like I said, instead of going to take over the swim program, maybe it is having that opportunity. Oh, you see what's happening, and then maybe scheduling a meeting with the director or the teacher. And like I said, we want to make sure we're teaching our children how to advocate. And this is a great opportunity to learn, especially for our elementary and secondary students that are in 6th and 8th grade, to learn how to advocate for themselves. Because we can't always be there. We want them to be able to use their voice. And so this is the opportunity for them to build their confidence. You can encourage your child to feel confident to speak up. And one way is by reading stories. Like I said, reading is a great opportunity for them to learn lessons. And this is also a great opportunity for them to see what the other characters did in regards to how they solved the problem for themselves, what solutions they came up with. And then they'll be able to use those solutions to help them basically overcome whatever issue they might be having. And also that may work for elementary, but when we're thinking about adolescents, maybe this is a great opportunity to build their confidence, like Dr. Hamilton said, volunteering, letting them be advocate through volunteerism. We have different opportunities out there where they can go out and volunteer and learn how their voice and just them being in that place matters. And that builds a lot of confidence and self-esteem. Also, you want to listen to your child. You can show your child that you've heard and understood them by summarizing what they've said. This is a great opportunity for active listening. We always hear it at work or any other place that we are privy to, where active listening matters. And this is a great opportunity when they're actually expressing what's happening. And when you're listening, they're able to basically give more of themselves or give more information that you probably wouldn't even known about, because they know that you're listening and they know that you're paying attention. And just by summarizing everything that they said in their head, they feel like, oh my gosh, my parents really understand what I'm going through. And just not going word from word, but also being able to just have that ability to understand their feelings, listening to their tone, and also giving them that little bit of respect that sometimes they feel like they don't have when it comes to adults. So when they see that you're listening and you're paying attention to them and you giving them their full undivided attention, then they know that they've gotten not only just your attention but the respect, and they're more willing to participate in any conversation that you have. And also, you want to be able to support your child to speak up. This is a great opportunity over the summer to teach them how to speak up. Not only just to talk about, this is what's going on in my class, or this is what's happening at school, but being able to learn how to handle conflict in a polite and calm manner. This is something great for our secondary, especially our 6th to 8th graders to learn how to basically let their voice be heard, but also not in a tone that is disrespectful and that will basically engage in that in the method of them becoming the problem child. Instead, we want them to be the advocate. So we want them to be able to not only voice what's going on, but also know that they're being heard. And this is a great opportunity to do role play so you can hear them and see what their tone is, and making sure that whatever is coming out, you can basically go, I don't think that is how you want to approach that, to give them that, again, that confidence and self-esteem to be able to speak up for themselves, and also know that someone is listening. And once they understand how to approach that, then they'll be able to advocate for themselves and not have to worry about calling mom while she's at work 24 at least that day. So this is a great opportunity for you to do the role play again, and also reading those books about those characters who speak up about themselves.
Thank you very much, Miss Williams. I really appreciate you taking the time to let our parents know how they can be advocates and advocate for their scholars, and teaching their scholars how to advocate for themselves. Next up, we have Miss Trisha Kay. She is from TK Enterprises, and she is going to give us a very detailed presentation on time management, time management for parents. So take it away, Miss Kay.
Thank you, Miss Davis. Hello, Longhorn parents. I am excited to be with you this evening. My children, adult children, my son is 31 and my daughter is 25. They're alumni of the Cedar Hill Independent School District. And so how well can I wrap my mind around this topic? Time management for parents. I'm Trisha Kay, and I'm the managing director of TK Enterprises. And so I want to ask you a few questions. I want to get your brain, your cognitive functioning going a little bit stirred up. And I know it's almost 7 p.m. and I want to fully engage you because this topic has totally blown my mind over the last semester of training that I've received. And so I am so excited to share it with you. Things I want to ask you. Think about your time. Do you feel that you have enough time for your self-care? Are you satisfied with the amount of quality time that you spend with your family and friends? Do you feel that there is enough time in the day for you to accomplish everything that needs to get done? Do you meet all your work and or school deadlines? Do you often feel overwhelmed because you have so much to do? How would you rate your stress level? Would you assess it at low, moderate, or high? I believe that every human can identify with concerns about time. And so we want to give you an upgrade that will actually transform your life, your scholars' lives, and your family's lives. So I'm really excited about this. So, what is time management? Let's talk a little bit about it. It's a process to organize and plan how to effectively and efficiently use time with a focus to achieve priorities and productivity. So, effectively means how successful you are, how well you manage time. Efficiently means how fast and without wasting time and energy, you get right to it, to a successful outcome. So we all have 1,440 minutes in a day. We have 160 hours, 168 hours in a week. We all spend our time differently. Some of us are great with our time management. We have a process and we have a low range of stress, and we're living a pretty good life, and it's meaningful, and we have our priorities in order. Some of us are very challenged, and then there are those who don't think about it at all. So often we think about our money and we think that is our most valuable asset, but really it's time. And so we want to upgrade Cedar Hill families this evening. What are the benefits of time management? Time management will benefit every area of your life. Some benefits I want to point out this evening. You'll have more time to spend with your family and friends. Who doesn't want that? You'll have a better focus. You'll be able to align your priorities and make your schedule, live the life that you want to live, create the life you want to create, versus someone dictating to you what type of life you'll live. You'll have a lower stress level. Who doesn't want a lower stress level? We all want a joy-filled and meaningful life and to feel good about ourselves. It'll provide opportunities for more freedom, more growth. The sky is not the limit. There are no limits when we embrace effective time management. We also are sharing this with you so you can share these things that we're giving this evening to your scholar and your family. Please share this with your neighbors, with other parents. This is so valuable. Lastly, and this is just an initial list. It goes on and on and on. You have the capacity to accomplish greater results in shorter time. So, how do you transform your quality of life? I'm going to ask you to lean in with me this evening. And not only this evening, but lean in with intentionality every day of your life so you can live a better life, enjoy your family. Your scholar will be set up for a quality life, and your family members and neighbors. This is so valuable. So lean in. We're going to talk about leading your family, evaluating your time management, assessing how you spend your time, starting to say no, identifying and prioritizing what you do. And now that you have this information, we're going to ask you to go focus and accomplish a great quality life. So we're going to lean in this evening. Thank you for being a part of this training. Lead your family. Role model good practices. We've heard our other speakers talk about how important it is to be engaged and to engage our scholar. So important to engage our families. Share what you learn by not only talking with your scholar or families, but role modeling the practices. Set the example. I want to give you an example. My daughter, again, she's a alumna from Cedar Hill, and I never said this particular thing to her, but she picked up something by my example. Now, y'all gonna laugh at me, I know already. I would take the biscuits out of the oven, and I don't know where I got it from. Maybe my mother role modeled it for me. I don't remember, but I did something a little quirky. And I'd get a paper towel in the butter bowl and in the butter tub, and I'd dip the paper towel and get some butter, a scoop of butter, and I would butter the hot biscuits or rolls. I never told my daughter to do it that way. She does it that way today. So how important it is to role model, how important it is to establish routines. Our children do better with repetition and routine. Now, adults, we get bored with that. But again, our children do better. So I'm asking you to give your child, your scholar, your family, give them the opportunity that most of us had by establishing and being a part and engaging in routine and repetition. Helps them develop good habits. Engage your family, engage your children in the calendar creating process. They are so innovative and so creative. They help us do things that we don't know how to do sometimes, especially with me with technology. I ask the younger generation. So you would be surprised how they can be an effective part of creating the calendar for the household. Not only will you have a calendar for the household that captures each individual's school activities, extracurricular activities, volunteer opportunities, outings, but you'll encourage them and also establish a routine for them to create their own individual calendars. Teach them how to set priorities. As your child gets older, take on the coach role versus the dictator. When they're younger, of course, we're helping establish the habits and we're teaching the developmentals. But as they get older, and you would be surprised, I'm not talking about high school, but in elementary school, they can take on way more than what we understand at times, because it is proven between 1 and 5, children are like sponges. That's how they can learn the second languages really quick. So get them engaged young. And then as you assess your child and you're watching and observing, and you see that they can take on more, give them more responsibility in the process. Design a quiet work zone. Encourage organization. These things are things that we need and our children need. Use phone apps to enhance the time management process. There are all kinds of free apps that you can get, so we don't have to do it the old-fashioned way by handwriting, but you can. So whatever is comfortable for your family. Schedule family time. What I've learned through observation and in my studies of time management is that most people don't schedule their personal times. They don't schedule exercise, date nights, family times, watching TV. So those types of behaviors, self-care, personal hygiene care. Let's have a routine. And so our children will pick up and say, whoa, okay, this is how I'm supposed to live this life. And of course, they'll go beyond what we do and do much better. So the last one, avoid overscheduling. Oh my goodness, how many times have or do I even remember, and I'm sure you can identify with this, we're ripping and running and we're busy, 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 and it's rush, 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 and we got to get to soccer practice, football practice. Excuse me, I'm getting excited just bumping the screen. But we're doing this, and that's literally what we do. Everything is just, it's chaotic. And so time management brings a calm. It brings a quality that your children need, that you and I need, that your family needs. And so we want to calm ourselves and be very productive and very intentional to do the things that are really important. So again, we're going to have to really identify some things tonight. I want to really encourage you. I know I'm going to give you a lot of information, but you can view this particular video over and over. You can stop it, pause it rather, and play and go back and revisit and share it again with your neighbors and other parents. So I've created QR codes so you can put the phone up to your screen and click on that, take a picture of that QR code, and it will take you to some assessments that will help you. So I didn't want to just talk about it. I actually want to engage you in the upgrade of your time management. So evaluate your time management. Plan some time. This particular one will take you about 18 minutes. It's a really quick, and I've done these, so I did a test, and these things really helped me, and I know it will help you. So it's a brief 15-question quiz that will provide customized feedback to you regarding your time management strengths and weaknesses so you can grow. You'll also learn more about personal time management, as it's a read attached to it as well. And they'll provide strategic solutions of how you can start immediately managing your time more effectively. What I've noticed is that time is the most valuable asset that we have, but not many people really identify and assess how they're spending their time. We're being reactive versus proactive. And that's what we want to encourage you to be proactive, because that changes the game plan for you. So look at that, mindtools.com. Again, just click on that. The next one is, oh my goodness, I had never heard of time perspective. It's a really big deal. And I was like, oh, wow. So the time paradox, reclaim yesterday. The mission is to reclaim yesterday, enjoy today, and master tomorrow. So many of us are struggling with time and how we spend it. But this shows us a different perspective that I think many people have never heard of. So I'm going to introduce a new concept to you. There are 6 time perspectives. This is a psychology of time. It's how we view time. So there's a practical side of time management, and then there's a psychological, cognitive perspective of time. So the 6 time perspectives include past positive. So really quick, these QR codes, there's an assessment and there's a read, and it will take you approximately 1 hour. This is so important because it changes the trajectory of your mindset in regards to time. This will transform your life. So I'll quickly go through the 6 time perspectives. Past positive. Past positive oriented people focus on the good old days. They look forward to celebrating traditional holidays like to keep souvenirs from past experiences, collect photos. They may have friends they've known since childhood. So some people, they get stuck in the past, but it's a positive perspective. Now, what you're going to learn is that in our inventory, we actually operate in each one of these, but it depends on how you operate. Because if you're operating more in some of these, it's a bad thing because you can get stuck, or you're too forward ahead, or you're too present day. And so you want to find your balance with this. So past negative oriented people, they focus on what went wrong in the past, and they can't even live today or think about future. So there is no thinking about time management because they're in the past. Then present, hedonistic oriented people, they live in the moment. Their goals in life is to seek pleasure, sensation, new and unique discoveries. It's all about the now. So if it's all about the now, we're not thinking about tomorrow and the effective planning. And there's the present, fatalistic oriented people. They feel that their fate is predetermined. So their destiny and future is set. So why should they care about time management and accomplishing things? Because they don't have a say so. Future oriented people are always thinking ahead. They're so far ahead, they can't live in the present, and they don't sometimes appreciate the past. Then transcendental future oriented people, they believe that life after death is more important than the life that they're living, so they don't engage. And so I want to encourage you, please go see your inventory of where you rate, and they're going to give you specific feedback of how to change your trajectory so you can live a quality life, a happy life, and a meaningful life. And then you will be excited about applying time management. So how the next one, and lean in, assess how you spend your time. Choose your time categories. So again, how many hours or minutes do you spend driving, commuting, eating, food prep, entertainment? So everything about life, you're going to assess. Then you're going to identify your ideal time allocation. So for a couple of examples, studies recommend that we sleep at least 8 hours a night to be our best selves. So that would be an ideal time when you're thinking about your goals. Family dinner time, like Dr. Hamilton said earlier, an hour sitting with quality time with your family. Schedule that time. It's so important for you, your scholar, and your family. Track in our community. It makes a difference. Track your time for approximately 2 weeks. So if you want, you can try a week. They recommend 2 weeks. If you really want to be on point and you really want to hammer this and nail this, then track it for a month. It's up to you. Start somewhere, okay? So use a new spiral. If you're going to write it down manually every time, like if it took you 30 minutes to fix breakfast, it took you an hour to sit down. So you're going to actually be real with yourself. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't, hey, the ideal. No, this is your actual, how did you spend your time? Also, you can create an Excel spreadsheet if you want to manually enter the detail and track it and sort it. Or there's phone apps. For example, there are many. You can Google this, but Toggle is one that was recommended several times, and it will digitally track detail. Assess your activity. Does your schedule align with your goals and priorities? So in other words, once you assess your time, you track it, you go back and you look and see how you really spent time. Because sometimes we'll say, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time. And then we'll find out that we watch TV 24 hours of the week, and we slipped and slacked on some things, but we felt busy. So this helps to identify what we're really doing, okay? Also, does anything stand out to you upon your evaluation? How can you adjust to become a better you? What would you like to give more or less time to? Oh, the next one. Say no. Who's excited about saying no? Hey, be careful with this at work, okay? I have to say that. Of course, we want to set some boundaries, but listen to me carefully. Saying yes too regularly and to every request that comes leads to poor time management. You are human, not a robot. So sometimes you have to say no. If activities do not align with your goals and your priorities, it's okay to say no and focus on the things that matter to you. Stop living life for everyone else and show up for you and your family and your scholar. Maybe your child cannot be in 5 sports in one semester. It's okay to say no. It's okay to spread those things out through their school career. Be confident in protecting your time. It is your time. No one else is the steward of your time unless you give it away. When you give your power away and you give permission, oh yeah, they'll take it. Time, again, is your most valuable asset. Set boundaries. Identify and prioritize. Create a to-do list of everything that needs to be accomplished. Brain dump. We have so many things in our brain that when we go to sleep at night or when we're trying to go to sleep, we're laying our head on the pillow and our brain is saying, we got to do this, we got to do that tomorrow, and this is due Friday, and our brain just runs like a rat race. So take a spiral to bed and write that stuff down. Put your phone away so you can relax, calm down, and go to sleep. So brain dump. Whenever things come to your mind, dismiss it from your mind and put it down. Then what you'll do is to continue adding items to the list as they arise. So within his book, David Allen, the book is Getting Things Done. He mentions that it's more effective to identify discrete next actions and schedule those on your calendar versus a list of projects. So, for example, if I want to start a nonprofit organization, I'm not going to start that in one day. There are many actionable steps that I'll need to take. So, what he's saying is start with on your list. So, yes, I'll have that down as a project. But on my to-do list that I'm going to look at weekly and daily, I'm going to look at the next actionable step. Because if we don't, we get overwhelmed with feelings and then we procrastinate and then we never touch things that are so important to us and our families. Prioritize every action by categories, by your goals and priorities, the date or time that it's due, the sensitivity of it, and whether it could be delegated or outsourced. Delegation is a great thing. And a lot of people are not good delegators. Your children can do a lot of things around the home and it's summertime. So let's see what all they can do and put in their schedule and they'll wow you. And so a lot of times we don't want to outsource. We want to get out and cut the yard ourselves. Well, we can't do everything. So prioritize, okay? Enter every task into your calendar with an allocated time frame. What you're going to find out is that at first you're going to say, I don't have enough time. I won't be sleeping. So that's when we'll start to be mindful of how to plan each day. Rome was not built in a day, and nor can you build every project and accomplish every to-do item on your list in one day. So start out with the challenging things first. Break it down into actionable steps. Build in time for interruptions. Your peers or your family or your neighbors, they're going to always want to engage with you. And that's a great thing. Your children and your family, they're going to engage with you. So we do need to build in some free time and schedule breaks and downtime just for you, downtime with your child, downtime with your friends and neighbors. Schedule time to manage your to-do list and schedule. That takes time. So there's a lot of things. So what I'm asking you to do is break everything down and start figuring out how you have this effective and efficient process. It's organized. And then you'll find that you're going to find time that may have been wasted before or may have been tied into activities that you could care less about, but somebody else wanted you to do. You're going to start feeling good about yourself and feeling free and lighthearted and laughing again. And, all right. So now, once we've done that, focus and accomplish the work. Hey, we got to get the work done, okay? Eliminate distractions with intentionality. Put your phone away. Silence notifications. Close down multiple open screens. What are these things? Distractions. If your phone's sitting right now, my phone is right here, and if someone texts, I probably would veer my eyes over to the phone, but we got to put it away to stay focused. If possible, limit your email review to only twice a day. A lot of people that have to do this within employment, inundated with so many emails. Well, if you start to train people that you engage with, if you can, in some positions you cannot, depends on your role, but if you can, begin to set new boundaries for yourselves, and others will get accustomed to it after a while. Be on guard to protect your time. Follow your schedule. When you've taken time to sit down, do these things, follow it. Apply yourself to conduct the work. Now, there's a Pomodoro technique. I really like this one. So you can Google, there's all kinds of time management theories and techniques and strategies. Oh, you got it. Whatever you like. I really like this one because with our pace of society, this is a highly recommended one. Basically, what you do, you have a task. You set a timer for 25 or 30 minutes. You do nothing else but work on that task until the timer goes off. You get up, you take a break, and guess what? A lot of times I remember working in the corporate world. That's where my hardest work was, I believe, in the corporate world, because I had many deadlines. They taught multiple tasking. Multiple tasking can be good. It can also be negative. So what I do want to share about multitasking is that if you're going with your child somewhere and just say they're going to get their driver's license and you got a line and you guys are going to have to wait. Well, guess what? You might want to read a book during that time. You may want to check emails during that time. There's things that you can take with you that you may want to get done. That multitasking is great. But when we are multitasking and we're so scattered, we'll find out that that's very ineffective for us. So be really careful about that. I encourage you to look into the different types of positive and negative multitasking. So basically, in my corporate life, I was so dedicated. And so people who are futuristic, remember we talked about future oriented, well, they will sometimes become workaholics because they're so busy trying to reach a goal. Well, I was like that at one point when my children were in Cedar Hill High School. There's a lot of memories I did not capture. And there's a lot of things I learned about family that I didn't know during my time. So you guys are really, really fortunate to have Miss Davis that she's bringing these truths to you. So basically I would just work. I would leave at 1:00 in the morning sometimes. Hey, figure out your schedule, leave on time. So there's this busyness, which is very deceptive, that if you're busy, you're successful. That's not true. So westernized, and I'm about to finish because I know Miss Davis is going to be looking at me in just a moment. So basically, that's an American thing. In other countries, which are rated, like Denmark is one rated high on the scale for a good quality life. They build in relaxation. They build in hobbies. They work less than 40 hours a week. So it's not about the busyness that makes us happy. I think a lot of times we think if we're busy and we go in at 6 o'clock in the morning and we stay to midnight, that we'll be deemed as worthy or or in line for a promotion. Well, guess what? That creates burnout, workaholics, and that is horrible for your family. That's horrible for your health. And so it's very crucial that we take breaks, that we take vacations, that we build in those times I just talked about. So with the Pomodoro, you do your work in 25 to 30-minute segments. You step away, take a break. Your mind is rejuvenated. You come back, you're ready to focus again. It's very effective. And I know that if you stick with it and you start using it, you're going to find yourself more productive and you're going to reward yourself. That's the last one. Reward yourself when you get things done. Celebrate you, pat yourself on the back if you want an ice cream on the way home, or, hey, I'm going to talk to somebody on the phone because that's my reward. Reward yourself. Be excited when you're accomplishing effective time management. Never stop adapting and adjusting. Continue to educate yourself and empower yourself to do these things. Continue to evaluate your processes. What you did well at, it's okay to say I didn't do well, and let me make an adjustment. Let me research some new strategies because, Trish K said that Pomodoro was going to be good, but I didn't like that. So let me look up another strategy. Make adjustments as you want. Celebrate your wins, and hey, create the life you want. Remember, share this with your children, with your family, with your neighbors and friends. The last thing I want to point out, there are great resources on the internet in regards to time management. These are the books that I recommend personally and that I was engaged in with a very intense training, which totally really changed me. And I was surprised by the things that I read, and it changed my trajectory. Atomic Habits by James Clear. There's more. Getting things done, master your time, master your life. Overwhelmed. How to work, love, and play when no one has the time paradox. So, hey, you got resources, run with it. I can see your life getting better now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss K. That was a lot of good information. So definitely appreciate you on that. And now this is the time to ask some questions. If we still have you engaged this evening, you are welcome to ask us some questions, or not me, rather. Ask our panel questions that you might have this evening. Oh, let's see. Oh, look at this. Let me adjust the screen really quickly. This is actually our Executive Director of Counseling Services, I believe. These presenters have been amazing. Oh, great job, Ms. Davis. Oh, thank you. I didn't mean to put that on the screen, but thank you. Yes, the presenters have been amazing. So thank you so much. And Dana R asked if I could put the links. I hope this doesn't. I'm scared if I open up another window, it might do something to the stream. So I am going to put the links in. She did send them to me, and I am going to put them in the chat. So you will all have those. I did also see another question about the last Digital Parent University we had. Please send that question to face@chisd.net. And I can get that question answered. It's about, again, the last Digital Parent University that we did host. And tomorrow we have a Digital Parent University with our superintendent, Dr. Hudson. He will be going over our year in review and a look ahead to the 2022-2023 school year. So we are excited to bring you that final Digital Parent University of this school year. So that will stream live again on Facebook and YouTube like this tomorrow night at 6. Your question, please, again, send that to face@chisd.net. Oh, wait. Okay, because that's a question that the district I will make sure I get an answer for you. I don't believe that our panelists tonight can answer these questions because that is a district-related question. But I do. And you asked the other question that I am asking you to send to face@chisd.net. All right, let's see. I don't see any other questions. And again, I just want to thank everyone for taking the okay. All right, Ms. Bill, for taking the time to stick with us this evening. Most of the time, our digital parent universities are about an hour, if that. But of course, this is a family info fair, so you know it has to be a little bit longer. We got to be more thorough. Okay. Do any of our presenters and panelists have any final words that you want to tell the audience that is still viewing tonight? You've got the floor. Nobody? Well, people did say that Camp Skylark looks super cool. So hopefully they will go online to campskylark.com, get all that information, and then also the person who wanted to volunteer, they can get that information as well. And again, we greatly appreciate you for joining us tonight. And I am, again, going to put those links on the screen. Everybody knows when I put this banner up, what does it mean? It's time to go. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Thanks, everyone.